Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Tuesday show, July 18th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, my guy? It looks like it's been a little while since I've seen you guys, man. How you guys doing?
Oh, dude, feeling good, looking good.
Yeah.
Lewis?
Feeling good, except for almost had a heat stroke, man.
Really?
So I went to Philadelphia, Mass. How you doing over there, big guy?
Hey, Bray. Welcome back.
Appreciate that. Went to Philadelphia for a doctor's appointment on Friday and Saturday. But Saturday we played golf.
Can't you get a doctor closer than Philly?
I can, but he's a special doctor, if you will. Special doctor. So I had to go see him out in Philly. But they have great golf out there. So while I was out there, golf, the 2 days I was out there, it was very hot so on Saturday. The heat index in Philly was hotter here. I thought this would be hotter. It was 103, Ryan, with the heat index. It was 103, a bunch of old former football players out there on the golf course. Myself, man, as you appreciate, I golf with Otis Anderson.
Ooh.
I know you know that name as well.
OJ.
OJ, man. I had also Irvin Fryer. I know you know a lot about that division.
Hey, Super Bowl 25 MVP, Otis Anderson.
There you go. 100%. I knew you would love that point. But golfing with these guys. And Ryan, man, towards the end of the round, I'm sweating. And we were only drinking water and Gatorade, I promise you. Sweating bad. And at the end, I thought I was going to faint.
Elizabeth!
I thought I was going out like Fred Sanford.
I'm coming for you!
Elizabeth, it's going to be the big one. But I couldn't go out like that because I had to look at my partner, Ryan Ermanni, and my partner, Tom Mazawey, in the face every day. So I said, not today, I say. But almost. That heat was vicious on Saturday. There's a country singer I think he passed out at his concert.
Wicked weather all over the place.
Yeah, I made it, and I'm back.
I'm glad you did.
Back.
Tom Mazawey is also back in his familiar Maz chair over there. People love the camera shot that you got, Tom Mazawey.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him one bit. Alyssa rocking the chair behind me today. Of course, Cassie behind her, and I think who else is back there today? Can you see?
Not sure.
All right.
Not sure what's going on.
Maybe
back
Rachel.
there.
Yeah, I saw Rachel there too.
Somebody giving somebody one of those shampoo and neck lathers
Ooh,
that Ryan
Yep.
Ermanni loves
I'm getting
so
one
much.
tomorrow.
Is
I'm
that
getting
correct?
one tomorrow.
The best.
Yep.
The best.
Got an appointment with my gal Becca. 1 o'clock.
Haven't seen Beck in a while.
Monday, Tuesday she's off, and then
Okay.
last week we were on the road Thursday,
Right.
Friday.
That's right.
A couple things happened. I wanted to ask you guys, how would you feel about it, if you mind me?
Please.
Maz, I take the first question to you. I know who your favorite basketball player is of all time, and he's becoming one of the greatest people of all time. Maz, how about Steph Curry?
golfer? How about it?
Exactly. You knew where I was going. How about your boy Steph Curry? Obviously the hole-in-one, and then the no-look putt-ish. Steph Curry is like, he's kind of starting to enter that if I had 5 people to take to dinner, like Steph Curry's becoming one of those guys.
Amen, man. Amen. I mean, hell, I really believe if he goes on the PGA Tour, he can compete.
He will have fun. Like, it's a different thing. It's like the guy that goes into. It's like the guy you go see play basketball, celebrity game. Like, hey man, that guy's got some game. He can play in the NBA. No, he can't. Steph could play, but not with those guys. But just to see another athlete be that dialed in. Like did you see there was a basketball hoop on the court? I mean, on the court.
I did see that.
Somebody gave him a ball in the middle of this. And you know, topography at golf courses, it's not like hooping at Lifetime.
Yeah.
It's not like hooping in the gym at LCA. It's
There's no
uneven.
background.
I was
Still
going to say
made
the
it.
background, yeah.
Still made it. He's one of those guys, man. He's like on that Jordan-esque thing. Jordan was special at everything. Steph might be more special at everything.
He's going to challenge Sabrina Ionescu for the three-point shoot. Because did you see her?
I did.
A couple days
She's
ago,
nice.
hit 20 in a row.
She's cold.
She missed 2 shots the entire three-point contest.
I gotta warn. I just have to pass this to Sabrina if she's thinking this for real. Steph Curry made 97 out of 100. So
And the female basketball is smaller. It
true.
is smaller.
You know what they should do? They should change the size of the hoop, and they should both play with different balls and see how they do. They both should play with the same size ball, maybe a little smaller than women. Maybe meet in the middle somehow and then see who can do it.
I love it.
There
The
you
transformation of the game.
Make it even.
Hey, before we get into it, guys, I wanted to say, did you guys see what Russell Okung did?
I played with Russell Okung.
You did? In
with
Seattle?
Seattle in 2012.
No, I missed it.
So Russell Okung
He's lost a lot of weight.
He's retired in 2020, 310 pounds. You know, he's like a, how do you say, a spiritual guy.
Yeah, holistic, spiritual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He just completed his second 40-day water-only fast.
Oh, my God.
Only drank water for 40 days.
No food.
No food, no juice, no nuts, no greens, no water only. And it wasn't all you can drink water. It was 6 bottles of water every day for 40 days. He lost 56 pounds this last time. Over the last two, because this is the second time he's done the fast in 2023, lost over 100 pounds. And I'm sorry I didn't get the picture for you guys, but the visual from 2020 Russell Okung, offensive lineman, to today's version of Russell Okung is really quite striking. You know, he talked about when he played in the NFL, he couldn't get out of bed. It was really hard for him to get out of bed, and he thought when he retired that it would get easier. It did not.
Right.
And he's like, I'm sitting here, I got a wife, I got 2 kids, I got the demands of life, and I cannot complete simple tasks that life was requiring me to complete at the time.
Well, because he was heavy?
Well, just he's heavy, he's hurting.
Yeah, he's hurting.
He had surgeries all over the place. His body was broken. And so he just transformed his body. Your other former teammate, Joe Thomas, now he didn't do the water fast, but he completely transformed his body from what it was as well. It's really a unique thing to see.
You would never know Joe Thomas was an O-lineman.
Exactly.
When you look at him now. Never.
So I played with both of those guys, and I guess I'll start with Russell Okung. Always been an interesting cat. I think he's out of Oklahoma State. I was drafted in 2010, and I played with him in 2012, but he was a very good offensive lineman, very intellectual guy. Smart guy. I saw that process, Ryan Ermanni. I saw the first one he did. I think he had a chain on and some brown slacks or something. I was like, this is not Russell Okung. This is not the 300-pound guy I played with. So he's definitely on the spiritual path as it relates to that. A lot of these offensive linemen, though, Ryan, and now I'll switch it to Joe, a lot of those guys, they're not that big. They carry that weight. They go up. I remember guys in college eating sandwiches, eating bananas, like eating all type of things. Paul's like trying to add weight, keep weight on. Like Joe Thomas isn't a big guy. Like Joe Thomas isn't the guy that walks around. Like Jake Long was 6'7", 325 every day and twice on Sunday. That's just who he naturally was. Joe Thomas was a guy that was like 2, maybe 79. So you got to eat to get to 300.
Right.
You got to eat. And so he always was a lighter left tackle. But these offensive linemen, a lot of times, you see John Jansen's another guy. They lose the weight because they have to keep it on so that they can go against the Micah Parsons and Hassan Reddicks and those interior Nick Bosa's of the world. They don't want to walk around like that. And then once you finish, the nicks, the bruises, the injuries, the pains, all the weight that you were carrying, your knees start to bother you, your shoulders start to bother you. But then if you still have that weight on you, man, like you said, you're depressed. You can't get out the bed. And life, like the everyday missions of, let me wake up, let me take my kid to school, let me go work out. It's hard. It's hard and hard. So you lose the weight, you lose that. And he went, now going back to Russell Okung, that spiritual process is crazy though, man. Like 40 days. Like, can you imagine going a week?
I don't know if I could go 48 hours with water only. I don't know if I could do 24 hours water only, 6 bottles of water a day. I mean, could you even remotely think of that?
I can't. And I want to ask you guys this. So did he lose all his muscle by doing this?
Pretty much.
Because I just looked at his picture.
Yeah,
he looks like a skeleton.
Yeah, his bone structure completely changed. Everything changed.
I mean, that can't be healthy.
I don't think it is healthy. Like, to be honest, I mean, you know what they do during, like, you have the players that fast. Sometimes I think it was Evan, I can't think of his name, Ennis Canner and Kyrie, you know, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those guys would struggle during the season. And you're talking about fasting, not eating anything, the same thing, only water. Those guys were playing sports, but they made it through. But twice, like, that's the thing that gets me mad. Maybe I couldn't do it for 40 days, I'm going to be honest. I couldn't do it for 40 days, just water. I could not. But twice in the same year,
yeah, exactly.
Maz, Ryan, we're in July. So that means he's done it twice within 6 months, not twice within 365. So my hat's off to him. But at that point, what's What do you stand to gain now? You've done it twice in 6 months. Okay, you've got your butt out the bed. You're talking about it. You're being open about it. Life seems to be better. Why do it again? Like, what is the end game? If you've done it twice, 6 months, are you going to do it again?
Well, I think this time he is now under 200 pounds. He weighs 192 pounds. So
it's not healthy.
If that was a goal for him, he got there. I don't believe it's healthy either, Braylon, and
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I think there are better ways to do it. I mean, if you saw how Joe Thomas did it, but this just seems to be like a secondary almost.
And that's like an addiction.
We're not talking about weight loss, and we're talking about really. We're talking about the darkness.
Yeah,
you know what I
this
mean?
is
Like when Aaron Rodgers went on a 4-day darkness experiment.
That was 4 days, man. This is 80.
Exactly. But when you're doing all this other stuff, it just seems so odd, man.
It's like the world we live in now, man. Like anybody's open to anything. Like anybody's open to anything. I'm not open to it, but
Right.
it worked for him. I
No doubt.
just hope he stays healthy though. Like Joe did it the right way. One, he's a lighter guy. It was easier for him to lose weight. But then once he did it, hey, he was working out. Joe's a big cycler. Now he's a boxer. Now he does some, like, those are healthy things to do, and he eats good. Just say, all right, cool, I'm not going to do anything for 40 days. That's not healthy. I swam today, but
You did.
hey, you know what? I got a new saying for you. I sent you that guy, the motivational speaker,
Yeah.
Myron.
Yes.
Watch him on that. He's dynamic. He said, start by starting.
Yes.
Everybody's always asking, how do you start? Well, I can't do this because of this, that, and the third. You start by starting. So that heat stroke scared the hell out of me, man. So I said I got to get in some shape. So today, I went to the gym, swam some laps, got in the sauna. I started today, brother.
It's funny because I have like a book of all these like famous quotes, and like that's one of them. It kind of if you want to start, then start. You know, it is a perfect saying. I love that one. Don't put anything off. So, guys, big show for you today. Coming up at 3.
Mine is never do today what you can do tomorrow.
There you go. Great. That is the antithesis
I know.
of just start. Big show for you today, Tom Mazawey, as well. Coming up at 3:30 if you're watching live. If you are not watching live, coming up in about an hour and 20 minutes if you forward through, we'll be talking to Dan Nitro Clark. Nitro from the hit show, legendary show, American Gladiators. We'll talk to Nitro coming up. Just about everything going on. So many documentaries, so much attention paid to.
It's one of the higher rated ones, right?
One of the highest rated Netflix shows right now, Muscles and Mayhem, the unauthorized story of American Gladiators, of which Nitro was one of the more popular figures on that show, one of the long-standing gladiators, if you will. So we'll talk to him about that. Really excited to talk to him about that. We'll talk about the running back position as well. The running backs, there is so much to talk about when it comes to NFL running backs and what's happening. We'll get you with Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, what they're all saying about it, where Saquon Barkley may or may not have gotten it right, and what do you do if you're the NFL. So much to get to when it comes to the running back position. But coming up next, we're talking Lions. Rookies report to Allen Park tomorrow. We'll get there. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC offers the same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You have an opinion? seen and heard. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Downtown Detroit in the Cambria Hotel. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's open now. This is the place to be. You want to go down and get it in. 13 golf simulators. That's right. 1 through 13 simulators. Get it in. Food, restaurant, drinks, chill, get it in. And guess what? It's going to be a hot August. You're going to want to have a place to go inside. Guess what? That's 5 Iron Golf. Downtown Cambria Hotel.
Guys, very excited. Training camp for the Detroit Lions starts tomorrow. Want to point this out to you as well. If you want to go to training camp, it is open to the public. Tickets are free, but you must get a ticket. You must have a ticket to have access to camp. Tickets are available on DetroitLions.com starting Wednesday. That's tomorrow, July 19th. At 10 a.m. So tomorrow, 10 a.m., free tickets to Detroit Lions training camp. Throughout the next couple of weeks, you'll have the opportunity to go see the Lions if you wish. It is always a popular thing. And this is, Bray, we talk about this all the time. The Lions would love, if nothing else, to have a new training facility, to have more people at Allen Park. Now, they're seeing like what the Cowboys are doing, what other teams around the league are doing. You could pack training camp and make it pretty appetizing for fans and players. You've been out there. It's always easier to compete in front of people than in front of silence where it's just you guys. Doesn't it jack you up a little bit to have at least somewhat of a crowd there?
Oh, it does, man. Like when you bring those crowds out there, it's like a mini game. You know, it's like a spring game almost in college. You love having the fans there because it puts you on your A game. You want to show, this is what I'm going to do this year. This is what I'm about. You get good back and forth, especially when you have high-level guys, especially when you have some fun guys like the Lions do now. They got guys on both sides of the ball that you want to watch. Who wouldn't want to watch Jamison Williams go against Cam Sutton? You know, who doesn't want to watch, Sam Laporta getting jiggy out there with his former teammate, Jack Campbell, now current teammate again, Jack Campbell. So it's going to be fun. Jameer Gibbs going against those linebackers as well. Kirby Joseph. What does he have for Jared Goff? Hell, he owns Aaron Rodgers. What is he going to do with Jared Goff in practice? These are the types of things that you think about. And if the Lions win, they'll have more success. But before the Lions win, fans, you guys got to want to come down there. You guys want to come down to Rotunda because I'm telling you, it was nothing like having those guys out in Berea when I was in Cleveland, having them out in Florham Park. We used to do that practice, man, out in Long Island. I know you know about it.
You know it.
We would do, once we left Long Island, you do the practice out there. It's like playing in the game at Hofstra, man. So it's a lot of fun, and that's how you get your team going. That's how you get your fan base going. So I think it's a good match, but you got to get down there, get some tickets, get down there, and watch the magic.
And Maz, they would have more people there, but there's nowhere to park. So
there's nothing.
You can't.
They've outgrown Allen Park.
You cannot host 10,000 people in Allen Park.
This isn't a fly-by-night team anymore. This is now a true NFL team, and they will have true NFL accommodations pretty soon.
But this is where the fans have. This is where they come in handy, man. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. If the fans want the Lions to build an infrastructure or build a new facility or build a place like you're seeing with Jerry's World, like you're seeing with Kansas City, like you're seeing with these other teams, where it's a fan experience to come to a practice or come to a game, you guys got to go and show out. Like, fans got to go. They got to pack them. They got to get the tickets. They got to make sure they're there. And the fans that couldn't get the tickets, you guys got to be around the gates hovering around. Like, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And I guarantee you, if you show up like that in Rotunda, this ain't the old regime. Sheila Hammond's going to reward you guys with a new facility. They want the fans to be a part of this because this is a new regime, but these are the same fans that have been there for how many years?
I'll tell you, you could talk about going out to Ann Arbor or finding land in Plymouth or going out to Macomb. And, as an East Sider, I would love it if they went out that way. But there is only one solution for the Detroit Lions, and that is to put your practice facility, the next one, whenever it is, in some neighborhood in Detroit that is completely vacant.
State Fairgrounds, man.
You know, I mean, you could really build out just a beautiful facility in the city of Detroit. There is so much vacant land. Yeah. There is so much really
look,
ruins.
Gratiot right outside of Ford Field.
Yes.
It's all there for you. And it's right there next to your stadium. Go to Gratiot, knock some buildings down, and put up a state-of-the-art facility.
Yeah, get it back in the city, too. I mean, while we're at it, I agree with Maz. You know, put it in the city. Like, just keep everything down there in the city. Make us a city team, a metropolitan city team. Like, I think that would be dope.
Right off the highway there.
100%. That's where the jail was going to be. I know exactly what you're talking about. And they scrapped that deal years ago because it was like, why? That would be great, man. Get it back in the city, jobs in the city. That would be fire, man. Detroit, just to talk like this, though, it goes back.
And I think there is discussion about a new training facility. They know I think they know they need one. I mean, especially when you look at, you know, Netflix. We mentioned this, Braylon. When you look at the Netflix documentary Quarterback, that did get renewed, and we could talk about that in a little bit. But just look at the training facilities that these teams have. It's state-of-the-art, incredible facilities that the Detroit Lions just can't match right now.
It's one of those things, not to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
When you walk in a new state-of-the-art facility, like whether you're a player, whether you're media, whether you're a coach, whether you're a family friend, it's just something different. Like I remember being in Berea for 4.5 years, and for those of you who don't know, that's Cleveland. That's where Cleveland's facility is.
How far is it off it? From downtown? From
downtown, Berea is like 25 minutes.
Okay.
Like 25 minutes. It's not far at all, but it's an industrial, terrible Ohio city, like Ohio town. Like it's horrible. And they've had it for years upon years upon years. I get traded to the Jets in 2009. I walked through this $450 million facility that just opened up the year before. I didn't know where the hell I was at, man. It was like a different experience, but every day I came to work, man, you want to play a little harder. Man, you want to work a little harder, and it sounds dumb, but it's not. Like when you walk through a certain type of building, it makes you want to do a certain type of thing. So, the Rotunda, I walked through that same building when I was interviewing Ryan in 2005. Yeah. It's about time for
AP is nice. Their headquarters is nice. It's just too small.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to park.
It's also
that's it.
It's also 23 years old though.
Yep, it is.
That's dinosaur in these day and age. Like
especially with the advancements now, right?
MetLife is old,
right?
And that's 2010.
Right. 20 years.
I was old when it got built.
From 2000 from 2000 to 2023 feels longer because of the advancements in technology and how everything is built than like 1980 to 2000, doesn't it?
It's like the same.
Doesn't it feel like a much different kind of 20-year feel?
Definitely.
Tech is changing so fast.
Exactly.
Tech, design,
by the way, someone on our chat, Chico, said they're building an Amazon warehouse on the state fairgrounds.
Yes, they are.
So there goes the state fairgrounds, Bray.
But that's just that's in good for Amazon and good for the state fairgrounds, because that is a mammoth facility that will probably house about 3,000 to 5,000 jobs, good paying jobs in the city of Detroit. That is exactly what should go there.
Speaking of technology advancing, I know I'm off subject.
You're fine, dude.
I saw Mission Impossible this past weekend.
Did you like it?
Is that the 10th one?
It's the 7th one.
7th
or 8th. 7th is about the 8th next year. It was good. I think they changed the score. That was a good thing I liked about it. But enough about that. When are they going to learn? Like, they keep putting things plain sight. AI, man. AI is way with you. AI is going to take us out. Like, remember, you heard it here first. AI is going to take the humans out. That's all I'm saying. I ain't talking about Allen Iverson.
All right.
I ain't talking about Allen Iverson.
We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. Again, just to put a bow on the Lions training camp situation. Again, free tickets available starting tomorrow, which is Wednesday, July 19th at 10 a.m. DetroitLions.com. Tickets are free, but you must have a ticket for entry into training camp. I wanted to get to this. Lions rookies report to Allen Park headquarters tomorrow. Veterans on Saturday, and camp starts on Sunday. Jahmyr Gibbs, guys, signed his 4-year contract, $17.8 million guaranteed. Now, the only Lions draft pick that remains unsigned, hopefully they got, I don't know what you wait for, but is Brian Branch. Maybe he feels, because the Lions pretty much admitted that they had a first-round grade on him. Maybe that's something to consider, that he believes to
He'll
get
be
some
signed
money.
by tomorrow.
He will be, and that is hopefully the case. But Braylon Gibbs gets $18 million guaranteed on a 4-year contract, and it goes back to, and we'll talk about the running backs next, but where you get drafted matters. A first-round pick, top 15 pick, top 12 pick, he gets paid.
Yeah, 100%. And you look at Bijan Robinson. You brought this up last week. Bijan Robinson's the highest paid running back this year coming up. Like, he'll be the highest paid running back when you look at his salary, including signing bonuses, though. Where you get drafted matters. I had the opportunity to come out as a junior. Like, when you're thinking about coming out in the NFL, you have your attorney or your agent who you hired, or your coach. You send in the process. It's like, hey, look, where will I be drafted? When I did that my junior year, it said I'd be drafted as high as 11 and as low as 42. I was like, 42? Not a lot of money in 42. It's a good amount of money in 11, but it's too much of a discrepancy. I came out the next year. I say that to say, I went back to school because of the possibility of being drafted 42. Where you draft matters as it relates to money, and then where you draft as it relates to the system fitting you matters as well. Jahmyr Gibbs is in a good system at 12. Running back at 12, that's going to be really good for Jahmyr Gibbs because it's going to lead into, obviously, the next conversation talking about running backs. He's going to get paid in his first 4 years, but then it's going to be a struggle. As running backs now, your best bet is to be all you can in college so that you can get drafted higher up in the first rounds, in the 15s to 1. Because if you get drafted in the second, third, and fourth like Tony Pollard, you will get played.
Guys, the running back position in the NFL is in crisis. I don't think there's any other way to say it. You've got some of the best athletes in the game sitting out right now. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. Tony Pollard is going to play under his franchise tag, but they remain unsigned, Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. I've not had an opportunity to get your take on the Saquon Barkley situation, Braylon. I'd like that next, and then we'll show you what exactly the other players, other running backs around the league think of what is happening to this position and where this thing goes from here. What can the NFL do, if anything, to elevate the running back position? Because as it stands right as I sit here right now, I just have no answer. We'll get Braylon's take next. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, because summertime is a great time to join Planet Fitness and beat low E. That's right, Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include training. Your fitness is essential and a key part of your physical and mental well-being, which is why Planet Fitness has invited teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long with their high school summer program pass. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or check them out online at planetfitness.com.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
The running back position is in crisis in the NFL. I don't know if there's any other way to think about that. I want to start with the Saquon Barkley, Braylon Edwards, and I want to thank everybody for watching on YouTube. If you are, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. Also, Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Less than 100 now subscribers away from 45,000
nice.
on this platform.
Ooh.
So we are growing here on YouTube, and that is always a great thing. Braylon, Saquon Barkley did not sign his long-term deal that he was offered by the New York Giants. He did not sign his franchise tag. It would have paid him about $11 million a year. And he said no. There is 6 running backs that would have been paid more than Saquon Barkley at $11 million a deal. Does Saquon take any blame whatsoever for not accepting that $11 million deal? Those running backs paid in front of him: Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, and Joe Mixon.
I think they were going to give him $19 million on a bonus as well.
Actually, Joe Mixon took a cut, so he's out of there. So
Yeah.
it'd be only 5 running backs paid higher than him.
One, we don't know what the deal would have been. We keep hearing hearsay from one side. We hear hearsay from another side. At the end of the day, we don't know what the deal is.
Let's assume it's true.
Okay, let's
assume that they were going to pay him $11 million annually and $19 million up front.
Saquon Barkley, he's in a bad situation. And the bad situation that he's in is he's right. He's worth the money in terms of considering what he did last year. You didn't sign his extension, okay? You didn't pick up his extension. So he had to play the whole year on a proven contract. No extension, no safeties, no nothing. So boom, played that year. And what did he do that year? 1,300 yards. He had 400 yards receiving. He had enough touchdowns to get you guys in the playoffs. He was the focal of the offense. Like, he was your entire offense. Daniel Jones did a better job of not turning the ball over. He's not throwing the ball down the field. He's giving the ball to Saquon Barkley, or he's passing the ball to Saquon Barkley. He did what he was supposed to do, and now he's in a pickle because they don't value the position anymore. If I'm Saquon, yeah, I want to send a message. I want to be paid. But them not taking that deal, talking about him and his agent, it's in a bad spot, man, because the running backs will no longer get paid. Nobody really wants to think about the running back getting paid. They're not valuing the pick. They're like, hell, we'll let you guys wait until training camp because you're going to end up signing that deal. I would have taken the deal if I was Saquon Barkley, only from the standpoint it's not going to get better. Like, the running backs have been fighting this fight for a very long time, but as recently as Le'Veon Bell. Look what Le'Veon Bell had to go through, and that was 4 years ago. And here we are again, and now you got a bunch of other guys that are in the same trouble. The trouble is the NFL. Whenever we ask this question, like, why is the NFLPA stronger? Well, that's the fault of the NFLPA. I told you guys, it's not like the baseball. It's not like the basketball. We don't have the power. Because you got guys like Tony Pollard, they're not Christian McCaffrey. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not a guy that got drafted in the first round and has money laying around or has extra deals coming through. Now, yeah, he's deals in Texas because of the Cowboys, but he's like, I need my money. I need this money now. I need this contract, so I'm going to play, and I'll figure it out. And they know more guys will be lining up to take that guy's spot. So he's in a bad spot. You saw what happened with Le'Veon Bell. As nice as Saquon Barkley is, you've already heard the fans of the Giants. They say he better be there when training camp starts, or he better be there when the season starts. Excuse me. That's the fans. Once the fans turn on you, they care about the jersey. The fans care about the jersey, not the players. So he's in a bad spot. I think he should have signed that deal. Running backs are just in a tough spot. This isn't the first time a position hasn't been valued. Tight ends weren't valued in terms on a pay scale for a long time. Safeties aren't valued. Guards aren't valued. It's just the first time, Ryan and Monty, that it was the position that was the position. Running back was the premier position in the NFL. And now you're looking at guys in the 6th round saying, yeah, we can win the Super Bowl with that guy. It's a tough spot.
Here's Saquon's numbers. It's rookie season, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. And then he went down to 1,003 yards and 6 touchdowns.
How many games?
13.
He
13.
got
So
he
he
got
missed
them
about
all.
a month.
All right,
about
then
a month.
2020 he got hurt, 34 yards, first game. 2021 he was just coming back, 593 yards, 2 scores. Last year, good comeback year, 1,312 yards, 10 touchdowns. So he's got 4.5 yards per carry in his 5-year career, 29 touchdowns. That's a solid running back. That's not a great running back. That is a solid running back's numbers. Now, we all know Saquon, high draft pick, Penn State. The guy's got legs like tree trunks. He's a workout warrior. I feel for the guy, but I don't think he is an elite running back. Should he have taken that? Yeah, he should have taken the 11. I don't know what's going to happen here. It looks like the Giants are taking the hard call here. Look at the Chiefs. What was their guy? Seventh round. Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round pick.
So that's exactly. Go ahead, Bray.
I was just gonna say, like, to Maz, Saquon's that's not a solid season by an NFL running back. Let me take you an example. Last year, Saquon Barkley, who you brought up, 1,300 yards. He had 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. Let's stop there. Christian McCaffrey he's had 1,300 yards once. Last year he had 746, he had 1,139, 442. So he had 1,139 last year. Josh Jacobs 16, Dalvin Cook 1,100, Derrick Henry 1,100. 1,300 is no longer a solid season by an NFL running back. It used to be like in the 90s and to the years we remember with Emmett. 1,300, you're laughing. You're like, I know Barry's going to have 1,700. I know Emmett's going to be around 1,800. 1,300 now, that's great yards for running back. You only had 7 running backs over 1,000 last year. But to your point, it's those years in between.
That's right.
It's the years in between, Maz. That's the problem. First year, over 2,000 yards from scrimmage.
Yep.
And then after that, and then 1,300 again. If I'm the Giants, that's why I said I agree with you. He should have took the deal.
Yeah.
Because the Giants are playing the odds. The Giants like 1,300, then a bunch of average years, then a year he got hurt, then another year he got hurt, and then when all the chips were on the line, he had another 1,300 yards. Why will we pay him to do that again?
And this is not a Derrick Henry type player either, guys. I mean, this is a player that's missed 20% of the games possible in the NFL. I mean, he's missed 1 out of every 5 games.
That's because of the one season he sat out.
Well, he missed a month of the season in 19. He missed a month in 21, and then he missed the entire season in 20. So I mean, in years 2, 3, and 4, he's missed significant time.
Yep.
And I hate doing this, but when you talk about contract, you talk about performance, you pick everything apart. But let me just look at the position as a whole, because Josh Jacobs in another unique position. He didn't even get a long-term deal offered to him. Let me show you what Jonathan Taylor said, and I'm going to show you a series of what NFL running backs currently right now had to say about the position itself, just in terms of what people are faced with right now. Jonathan Taylor said, 1, if you're good enough, they'll find you. 2, if you work hard enough, you'll succeed. If you succeed, you boost the organization, and then doesn't matter, you're a running back. Austin Eckler. Let's put up what Austin Eckler says next. This is kind of trash that has artificially devalued one of the most important positions in the game. Everyone knows it's tough to win without a running back, and they act like we are discarded widgets. I support any running back to do whatever it takes to get his bag. Christian McCaffrey. This is criminal. 3 of the best players in the entire league, regardless of position, talking about Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon Barkley. And then Najee Harris. I agree with my running back brothers around the NFL. History will show that you need running backs to win. We set the tone every game and run through walls for our team and lead in many ways. This notion that we deserve less is a joke. I agree with that. However, right, wrong, or indifferent, the NFL is a business, and the model for success is now simple. The model for success is now there. There are so many running backs to choose from.
Yeah.
The Lions needed one, and they discarded essentially DeAndre Swift and drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. The Kansas City Chiefs just won a Super Bowl with a 7th round pick. Isaiah Pacheco leading the team in rushing and being a damn good player.
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks made the playoffs on the back, pretty much, of a 2nd round running back in Kenneth Walker. I don't know what you could possibly do other than, I don't know what you can do.
Look, man, I mean, this is just the way, things evolve. Like everything evolves. It sucks, but things move on. Things evolve. And the way look at centers. The same thing in the NBA. Nobody's drafting a Patrick Ewing type player anymore. Look at Hunter Dickinson, just left. Hunter Dickinson would have got drafted in the 2nd round, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30. Tim McCormick. Now, I'm not saying he was better than Tim.
Great
and by the
point.
way, Tim told me to tell you hello.
Oh,
I
Timmy
saw
man.
him not too long ago. But
Ray, that's a great point.
the center position is gone. You have to adapt. You have to evolve. Jokic is not a center. Joel Embiid is not a center. Giannis is damn sure not a center. Things evolve. It sucks. I just mentioned O.J. Anderson, correct, Maz, who was Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
All the Super Bowls, from the first one to maybe Marshawn Lynch. You know the running backs for those teams.
Yep.
They're either the MVP or they were the person that made it happen. Name me the running back from – my computer just jumped. Name me the running back from last year that mattered in either one game. Name me the running back from the Bengals and the Rams that mattered. Name me the running back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Kansas City that year. Name me the running back from the Eagles and the England that year, with the exception of Freeman, who the Falcons went away from. Why, Kyle Shanahan, I don't know. Running backs haven't mattered to the Super Bowl champions in years.
They always used to win the MVP.
We were just paying attention. Now that it's come out, we're starting to like, oh, damn. NFL owners have known that for a long time, and that's why they've gone the way they've gone over the past years. Marshawn Lynch is the last running back where I'm like, yeah, in the Super Bowl. That's it. It's proof. It sucks.
It's an excellent point.
Things evolve, and it just sucks that it is, man. You got to take those deals, especially for Saquon. You're in New York. So if you're making 11.8, you're a Penn State guy, you're sharp. We say Saquon on right guard commercials. I've seen him on Old Spice commercials. He's in the Big Apple. You got to take that 11.8 and get it cracking. It sucks that you do, but it's about your money now. It's about how you're going to look. So,
and it's where you get picked, too. I mean, there was a time over the last couple of years that running backs didn't get drafted in the first round. And the only reason why Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson are getting paid now, and why Bijan Robinson is the highest paid running back in the league, essentially salary-wise this year, is because he was taken in the top 10 of the NFL draft. He wasn't a second-round pick. He wasn't a fourth-round pick. He wasn't Breece Hall. He wasn't Kenneth Walker. He's not Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, this is a player that's taken in the top 10, slotted to that position. Jahmyr Gibbs getting paid. He's a top 12 guy.
Also, it's once again, it's another sign too, though. It's another show too of collusion. Now, I don't use that word as some taboo, illegal word or pariah word. I'm just keeping it real. It's collusion. It's Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens with the other owners saying, hey, you know what, look, we're not going to let him demand that out of you because we don't want our quarterbacks or our players demand that out of you. So we're going to stick it to you. We're going to let you do that, and we won't poach him. We'll leave it alone. Same thing with the running back positions. These guys, these deals, they're like, we're not paying these guys. If you don't pay him, Jerry, if you don't pay him, Robert, if you don't pay him, Mara, how they're going to get paid?
So I question that a little bit because I don't think there's another team in the league that would pay more than $11 million for Saquon Barkley, because you don't have to. You know, I mean, San Francisco's paying McCaffrey $16 million. The Saints paid Kamara $15 million, and the Titans paid Derrick Henry $12.5 million. Browns pay Nick Chubb $12.5 million. Yeah. I wouldn't pay Saquon Barkley more than any four of those players. You know, so I mean, the market is set there.
Nick Chubb got paid how much?
$12.5 million.
Now I think
he's going to get paid.
He deserves to get paid for what they do. With that being said, is Nick Chubb, like, how are they doing playoff wise with Nick Chubb? Like, it's not necessarily about what you do in terms of yards and stats. It's about what you do. What is your value, Ryan? You always talk about value.
That's it.
What's your value? And Saquon's value, Maz, one of the most storied franchises in sports, the G-Men, got him to the playoffs last year. New York Giants have been in the toilets as a team for years. They are the mecca of media. You need a team in the playoffs. Saquon Barkley, his season last year, helped get you in the playoffs, and oh, by the way, helped win you a playoff game.
Let's continue talking about this because
that's fair.
Nick Chubb also led the Browns to a playoff win.
Was it Nick or Baker?
I think it was Nick Chubb.
I
think it was Nick Chubb and the defense. And the Browns' defense that year to win a playoff game. But we got to talk more about this. I got a couple of different levels.
Durability is probably why. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But first, let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience. Automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports. Detroit's winning sports network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Thanks, everybody who's watching on YouTube. Hit the like button. Less than 100 subscribers away from 45,000. Bob, I see your chat here about turning up your microphones. Got my radio up super high. Can barely hear you. Commercials are loud as heck. I'm not sure. Is anybody else experiencing that? I don't know what to tell you. I hear myself perfectly in my ear.
Is he listening on the app or is he on YouTube?
A pretty good indication of the level. So if anybody else is having a trouble with that, let us know in the chat. We'll see if we can get that fixed for you as soon as possible. Braylon, I did want to address the business model of the NFL, though, because if you think about it, you know, and you had mentioned Saquon Barkley, pretty much led the New York Giants to a playoff win.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb led Cleveland to a playoff win. But if you look at the highest paid running backs in the NFL, Alvin Kamara, since he got paid, the Saints have done nothing. Derrick Henry, since he got paid, the Titans really have not. They won a playoff game, but they have not gone very far. Aaron Jones, since he got paid, there's not a lot there. Josh Jacobs, $10 million, not there. You could say Christian McCaffrey, since he got paid, he got cut. Okay, Dalvin Cook, since he got paid, he got cut. You know, the business model, you had mentioned collusion earlier. I just don't know if they have to pay him. It's not that they don't want to pay him or they don't think, but the business model in the NFL now has changed to where everything is about your quarterback. And hell, if you can get a quarterback on a rookie deal, now you've really done something.
Yeah, I mean, I see it that way. You know, I definitely see it. That's from the side of the owner, from the side of the front office. And it's about business. It's about, hey, look, man, like, what's this player going to be looking down the line? Like, if I'm coming up with this contract now, I don't want to put myself in a bind. I mean, look at the Rams with Matt Stafford. Like, the key is I don't want to be in a bind. Like, that's what the owner back on the owner backs. That's what the owners are thinking about the running backs, is not being in a bind. And the evidence supports their claim. And that's why I say it's just how things evolve at times. I mean, but also you should be paid according by what you've done. The Tennessee Titans are a relevant organization because of Derrick Henry and what he's done in his greatness. You look at his numbers. See, his numbers are different. His numbers, he deserves the money he got. Actually deserves a little bit more than the money he got. But look at like a Josh Jacobs. 1,600 yards last year. Like, he was great. He was phenomenal. His team didn't make the playoffs.
That's exactly
his team didn't
the
make
point.
the playoffs. So he had 1,600 yards. Good. You helped somebody in fantasy because you didn't help us. Like, that's how they're looking at it. And now, didn't help us. We didn't go to the playoffs. No more Derek Carr. We got rid of Darren Waller. We're trying to get rid of Hunter Renfrow. Why are we going to pay you? Because you're going to have stats, because you're the only guy we got. We know what you're going to do. That's why they don't want to pay Josh Jacobs. So it's about, once again, it's about your situation. Ryan, it's always about your leverage. What is the leverage you have? And running backs, sad to say, running backs don't have any leverage. Like, running backs don't have any
This
leverage.
year, two running backs were taken in the first round, Bijan and Jameer. First time since Saquon was taken in the first round. That just shows you 5 years have gone by without a first-round running back. That just tells you right then and there that's how the NFL is looking at that position. It's going down the tubes. Sure, there'll be another first-round pick. There'll be a few more first-round picks, and they'll get their rookie contract. But then they're going to have to earn their cabbage past that.
Now here's where I'm gonna take it to the NCAA, and I'm gonna help running backs out. This is where you capitalize on NIL. This is the reason why Blake Corum came back to college. This is why Blake didn't try to enter the NFL draft. Blake knew he wasn't going to go first. Probably would have went third. Probably went third round. Wouldn't have got paid. And then in 5 years, he's going to try to figure out what's the next move. Am I coming back to Michigan to be the OC or be the running backs coach or replace my card? Blah, blah, blah. You got to get paid now in college. Now is the time for running backs. Got to take advantage of the NIL, year 2, year 3, year 4, if you do that. And then also, they got to start redoing contracts, Ryan, for running backs. If I'm a running back, if my agent, I'm sitting there with my agent and I'm talking about my wants, my needs when I get in this league, I'm going to have some type of provision. I'm going to have some type of escalator incentive that says if I do what I'm supposed to do.
In year 1,
exactly,
in year 2.
Exactly. If I do what I'm supposed to do and I don't miss more than 2 games in the first 3 seasons, then somehow you have to, it's going to be something in there. It'll be some contractual language. But now running backs got to get smarter. You have to capitalize on the NIL when you're in college, and when you get in the league, when you pick your attorney, when you pick your agent, you got to get an agent. You got to have some language.
Yep.
I told you, Suits is my show. I've been dived into Suits. You have to have language in your contract that protects you, so you take the power from the NFL. You can't give them the power, and you can't wait for somebody, because you know what? They told me if I do what I'm supposed to do. They told me if I did this, I will be rewarded with this. I will be rewarded being a part of their team forever. They would pay me. They would make me feel good and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? They're full of it. And don't put yourself in that situation. You control the language in your contract. Capitalize NIL, capitalize on the first contract.
If I run for 1,200 yards, I get this. If I run for 1,500 yards, I get this.
They
put those escalators in.
They have that, but now you got to put something even more in there. You got to say something to the fact, hey, if I do this for 3 years, like these are 3-year deals, just like how you can give away a draft pick that doesn't come up for 3 years. Well, then you can put this escalator in there for 3 years. If I do what I do for the first 3 years, now when it comes down to negotiate my second contract, this is automatically on the table. It's all about language, and that's why you pay an attorney a fee for him to do things like that.
You know, if you just look at the running back position as a whole, of course, you've got Gibbs and Bijan, who went in the first round, but ultimately, 1 running back went in the second round, 3 running backs went in the third round, 4 running backs went in the 5th round. You can get a running back at any point along the way. Now, you may not get an Alvin Kamara type guy. You may not get a Christian McCaffrey type guy. But I'll go back to this. Would you be okay if Isaiah Pacheco was your starting running back? Now, maybe...
Depends on the offense.
It depends on the offense.
Kansas City has a great line.
Exactly. What's his name? Patrick Mahomes. What's his name? Yeah. You know, he's a pretty damn good quarterback and makes everybody look good.
Flannel Sam was sorry about that.
But what about, you know, Jerick McKinnon, who was, you know what I mean?
There you go.
He was the freaking running back that shared time with Isaiah Pacheco.
They just got rid of Clyde Edwards-Helaire was just there.
What about Jamal Williams? Would you take Jamal Williams on your team for $3 million a season? You probably would. So again, it's ebbs and flows of really a unique kind of spot that running backs are in the National Football League.
Unless you're a Barry Sanders type, then, you know, Barry Sanders is a once-in-a-lifetime running back.
I'm glad you brought up Barry Sanders, man.
Happy birthday, belated, to the GOAT.
He's definitely a GOAT. I'm right there with you on that one, man. I love him and OJ. On the football field. I'm glad you brought that up. I was with OJ Anderson. We just talked about that. You talked about Barry Sanders wouldn't have been the same because he's the GOAT. Ryan, you want to always talk about how like players has more injuries now than ever before. It's not necessary that players don't play all the sports like they used to. A little baseball here, a little basketball here. It's because they don't tackle all the time. They're not physical all the time. They don't use them all the time. No, if Barry Sanders played in this era too, slowly but surely, Barry would not be the Barry from 1991. Barry wouldn't be the Barry from 97 with 2,000 yards. Those guys got the ball 35 times a game, 32 times a game. We tackled in minicamp. We tackled in training camp twice a day, 3 a day sometimes. Like, we were physical. All this not giving the ball, multiply. Once they multiplied the backfield, became 2, it's less touches. It's less in the backfield. Now it's less times you're getting hit. Then you lessen the training camp. It's less 2 days, less times you're getting tackled. Guys are getting hurt all the time because guys aren't tackling. Guys aren't physical anymore. That's what O.J. Anderson said. He said, all we did was hit. Like, guys can legitimately take 40 snaps, drink a 6-pack in the locker room, and then come back out there smoke a 6-pack. And get it cracking.
Yes.
Because they're always hitting. Your body
They're loose. They're
your
ready.
body gets used to stuff. The more you do stuff. There's this little girl I follow on Instagram since she was this high, punching this tree over in Siberia somewhere. Started off punching small. Now she's older. She's punching holes in this tree. Her knuckles and hands are so freaking just hardened, but they're hardened over years and years. She can take that pounding. These running backs, these players, they're not taking pounding like that all the time. So they get in the spots. Oh shoot, shoulders not as strong as it was in the 80s because we were hitting all the time. That knee, it's not as strong as it was because we were planting on concrete all the time. That's what it is too. It's they're not physical consistently. So these running backs, it's going to keep happening.
Good take, man.
Remember, Dan Campbell said exactly that almost in Hard Knocks last year when he said, guys, we're going to hit today. That's all I think about is you guys. Remember, he got emotional. He's like, that's all I think about is you guys. I just, because you've got to hit. You can't start the season in week 6 anymore. You've got to start the season when the season starts.
If your first time at Crunk Gym and you get caught with a hook, you're probably going down. You're probably going to hurt. Well, you've been boxing for 2 months now. You get hit with that same hook, you're probably not going down. You're going to be up. Your body gets used to certain things. Football players' bodies aren't used to the pounding that they take during the season because they don't pound like they used to. Pause.
Look at Emmitt Smith. I mean, how many times did he carry the freaking ball?
Look at a pitcher in
32
baseball.
times a game.
Yeah.
Look at a pitcher in baseball. Pitcher can't throw 130, 140 pitches anymore.
Matt Manning pulled again last night with no runs given up.
You come out of the game, you throw 60, 70 pitches through 3 or 4 innings.
That's
you're
it,
done.
kid. You're done.
But you can't just start throwing 100 pitches in the Major League Baseball. You got to throw them in high school and in the minors and in college.
So it's that. I know Maz appreciates this. Bob Gibson had 28. Bob Gibson had 28 complete games in 3 years. 3 years he had 28 complete games. But his arms, his joint, his rotator cuff is just used to it. It's used to it. I'm throwing. It's used to it. But then when you start to load management well, now it's not used to it. Now it's not stretched. Now I'm injured.
How do you think Denny McClain won 30-plus games? And I know I'm going way back, but the more you play, the harder you are.
So with that being said, now the owners know, bringing it back full circle, owners know that they don't hit like that. Owners know that the shelf life for a running back is only 5 years. You got a 5-year window of running back. Sometimes before they know that because they know we catch on late. These owners have known stuff for years and years. We catch on late, so they're not giving running backs that guarantee. They're not giving them that security anymore. That's why you got to take advantage of NIL and be smart in your first contract. Don't wait till what they told you when you get to the end of the rainbow. There's a pot of gold. Not if you didn't negotiate that pot of gold in the beginning.
What did Austin Eckler say? And I had this up for about a week now. He said last week there were third-string wide receivers making more money than me. Third-string wide receivers making more money than Austin Eckler, as Braylon likes to call
If I'm looking at some of the backup receivers out there that are still making more than me, that's going to piss me off. In fact, the average, now there's more of them, but the average salary to a running back is less than the average salary to an NFL kicker.
Once again.
Wow.
Yeah, $2 million, $2 million for a kicker, $1.6 million for a running back, something along those lines. That number is not completely accurate to a T, but the average salary to a running back is less than the average salary paid to an NFL kicker. Guys, 30 minutes from now, we'll be talking to Nitro from American Gladiators. We're excited to talk to him about Mayhem, Muscles
and Mayhem.
Muscles and Mayhem, the unauthorized story of the American Gladiators. Also, you see what the Jets are not going to let happen on Hard Knocks. Braylon might be on Hard Knocks.
Might be.
He might be on Hard
Can I
Knocks.
say something about Austin Eckler?
Yeah, Austin Eckler.
You guys never gonna let me
Never
let
let you down.
You're never gonna let me live it down?
Never.
It's all good.
He's always Austin Eckler to me.
Yes.
All right, well, put it to you this way. Well, Austin Eckler, it goes back to what we said. You are worth your value. Last year, he had 13. What do you have total touchdowns last year? 18 touchdowns last year. 20 touchdowns, man, the year before that.
That's a beast.
He's rocking and rolling, right, Ryan? They got to be killing it. No playoff wins. So it doesn't matter about your 20 touchdowns. They made it last year. They lost to
Jacksonville,
to
right?
Jacksonville.
Oh, that's right.
The comeback
Chargers.
made it even worse. So it's one of those things where it's like, damn, I want to argue for you, but at the same time, understanding business, they're like, all right, cool. So what? You gave us 38 touchdowns. How many playoff wins did we have?
Zatsky. Guys, gonna take a break. Jets, not so Hard Knocks. We'll let you know what that is. Netflix's renewed quarterback and Matthew Stafford. Maybe this is the reason why they wanted to trade him. We'll share that with you. But first, a message from Randy.
Randy Wise, you know it, guys. You got to stop at a Randy Wise dealership near you for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf to one of Michigan's best tracks, and a tasty steak afterwards. Compliments of Fairway Packing Company. Ryan had himself a tomahawk just the other day. Make the wise decision. Get to a Randy Wise dealership for your chance to win and play golf like a celebrity.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hour number 2 here on Woodward Sports. We're having a lot of fun here today. Hopefully you are as well. Want to thank everybody who is in the chat right now. Your participation on this show is second to none. We absolutely appreciate everybody who goes the extra mile to listen to watch Woodward Sports. We are really excited about football season. We got a lot of great things coming. We believe that our content is the best that you will get when it comes to Detroit sports and really around the NFL, in our forum here in this city. So I want to appreciate each and every one of you for checking in on us.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, man. Like, we appreciate that. This is going to be a big year. You guys are definitely a part of it. So keep bringing us your the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we'll do the same.
Hey, by the way, right, before you skip off, the running backs, I want to tell everybody, they are all, well, I'd say most of them are on a text thread together. They're all talking together and trying to figure out what they can do for the position of running back and how they can present it to the NFL to make it better for future running backs. They're talking it out, man. I feel for them, man, because to me they're an integral part of the game, and they're one of my favorite parts of the game is to watch a great running game. It's always been my favorite. I've always liked the running game even more than the passing game. Sorry, Bray.
No, go ahead. No, go. I was listening. They are, but it just sucks. They have no power.
They have no leverage.
They have none.
In any negotiation, Braylon, if you're ever in a situation where you're maybe going to ask for a raise at your job, if you have leverage, if you are willing to walk, maybe you'll get a raise. If you don't, you're stuck, man. I mean, you could quit, you could not show up, but if you don't have leverage, if you don't have another offer, hey, this is what they're willing to pay me, that's any business. And the NFL is no different. Saquon Barkley, you don't want to sign this $11 million with us? Nobody else is going to pay you that either. We will pay you the most money you will possibly make.
At least they offered him.
Exactly. Josh Jacobs didn't even
He
get
got
offered.
nothing. Well, the Raiders are going down the tubes.
Tony Pollard didn't even get an offer. He just franchised.
He got hurt.
You know?
That they went him. If he didn't get hurt, he would have got paid.
You know what? It's always something with these NFL owners. If this didn't happen, then this way.
But that's a fact, bro.
No, you're absolutely right. But what I'm saying, they would have found something else. They would have found something else. And I come up here from a point of a former player. Look, I don't come up here and say you should have took the deal because I'm on the side of, you should have took the deal because you were injured this year and blah, blah. I'm always going to be with the players. I'm just telling you what it is. Like I'm telling you, just like always, we're talking about NFLPA versus all the other player associations. It's like that because there's so many players. The scale is so much different, and they got so many guys waiting in the wings to play, waiting in the wings to be the next guy. And they're like, shoot, I don't have any loyalty. Like the backup running back for the Giants, he doesn't have any loyalty to Saquon Barkley. He's got loyalty to himself and the NFL. The backup running back for Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, insert player here. There's always going to be a Madison waiting in the wings. Madison is the backup running back for the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, excuse me. No, now he's a starting running back for the Minnesota Vikings. There's always going to be guys waiting, and the NFL will always be able to do that. They can get in a text thread all they want to. They can start a corporation, a groom, a firm, a block. It doesn't matter.
Because even if they did what we said, what we suggested, like the more you think about something, like, hey, if I get 1,300 yards or 1,000 yards after my rookie season, you can open up this contract. You know, the minute that, let's just use Dan Campbell for instance. The minute Dan Campbell puts David Montgomery on the goal line instead of giving Jahmyr Gibbs an opportunity, the whispers of, oh, but they didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to open up his contract. So if you're close to a goal like that and you're not getting fed the ball, those whispers will come up, and then it'll be collusion, not trying to pay him. And it seems like a winless argument.
No, they're not going to whisper. They do that all the time.
Yeah.
They have a guy, the Turk, the same guy that comes to get your playbook in Hard Knocks. The Turk is the same guy.
The what?
Is the Turk. The Turk, the guy.
Yeah, the Turk.
You know, the Turk is, man. Explain the
Of
Turk
course.
to this guy, man.
You ever watched The Godfather?
Come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
The guy that comes and gets you.
Yeah.
He's
That
a Turk.
sends for you. He gets sent for.
You watch Hard Knocks. Hey, man, coach wants to see you bring your playbook.
Yeah.
That's the Turk.
Okay.
When you hear that, you know that guy is this
What's
your
the
last
Turk?
day in the locker room.
Right.
But that guy is also the same guy that's on the sideline with his, well, now will be a surface, statting everything, checking. That's nothing new. I don't say it in the terms of, hey, you get 1,300 yards, this would be this, or you get that. That exists now. Odell contract, you look at DeAndre Hopkins contract, it's full of those escalators. I'm talking about ones that kick in the next contract.
Right.
See, that's why you might need an attorney and an agent, because you might need a guy who say, look, if this happens in 3 years, then the next contract we're linked into this. But going back to it, just don't have that power. It's always guys waiting in the wings, and I mean, you can't make a case that you need them. That's the biggest part. You can't make the case that you need them, because Miles, what's the running back from the Eagles?
Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders is the best running back in the Super Bowl. Miles Sanders had a good game. They lost. You can't make the argument that you need the running back.
What pick was Miles Sanders?
Second round.
Yeah.
He's second round. But he's a damn good
Yeah.
running back. A lot of good running backs come out of the second and third. But I'm just saying, you can't make the case that you need the running back, because the best running backs, Derrick Henry, well, they didn't make the playoffs, as we were talking about earlier. And when he did make the playoffs, he never had good playoffs. Nick Chubb, they made it one time. And they made it one time. They got one
Hey,
win.
Barry had lousy playoffs.
This is true.
I'm sorry to even bring it up, but he had lousy playoffs.
Lousy.
But I'm saying, like, the all the running backs making the noise outside of Christian McCaffrey, who was on the team that went to the NFC Championship, and then they lost because of the quarterback situation. Nobody else has a stake that the running back position matters, that it helped the team that
Leverage,
much.
man.
Jonathan Taylor, as great as Jonathan Taylor is, and it's Indianapolis Colts haven't done
Lost
anything
10
this
games.
year. Like, you name the running back, Nick Chubb. The Cleveland Browns haven't done anything. Dalvin Cook. Minnesota Vikings haven't done anything.
Lost in the first round at home.
Like, they've done nothing. So it's like you can't make the argument to help them out, and that's the biggest problem.
You got no leverage. All right, guys, coming up next. Sorry, I got to get a break in. Jets, Hard Knocks, Netflix, quarterback renewed. Who do you want to see? And Stafford. This is the reason why, perhaps, the Rams wanted to trade him. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey guys, it's Maz for Big Boy. You want to start your day off, and it's Strawberry Fest, so get there for breakfast for the strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffles. If it's a little lunchtime and you don't want to have a little breakfast, how about the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or the refreshing Summer Splash salad? And the desserts, they're to die for: the classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, and the strawberry hot fudge cake. Or you can just order a Big Boy from your local Big Boy.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Having a little fun here. Day's flying by, I feel like. I want to get to this story first about Matthew Stafford. There is a report out there that suggests that the Rams tried to renegotiate Matthew Stafford's contract. And this is a Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, which take that for a grain of salt. But apparently, here's the quote: "I was told by a source I trust that they wanted to redo his contract. Stafford said no. The team was frustrated by that, and that potentially could be a reason why they wanted to get rid of him."
That's because they didn't want to pay him that $50 million. That's why.
I've never been more proud of Matt Stafford than I am today.
Take a hike.
I promise you, this is including this picture of him holding the Lombardi. I have never been more proud of Matt Stafford today. They do this all the time. They did it so many times with Larry Fitzgerald in Arizona. It make my stomach hurt. Like they come to you, hey man, would you do us a solid and let's restructure this deal. F you. I'm tired of restructuring deals. You know how many players you've made restructure deals and then hang them out to dry, much like the guys complaining that we're talking about the last couple of segments. He won you a Lombardi trophy, back off. Like, plain and simple.
Sorry, man, my family needs the money. My family needs the money. Sorry.
I got to pay the hospital bill. The girl that fell off the stage when we were celebrating
Exactly.
the Super Bowl
And out there in
trophy.
LA,
Exactly.
they take half right there, right
Exactly.
to start with.
I'm not
Probably
giving
take
them
60,
nothing.
70% of that money out in LA. You want to live in California? That's what happens.
Plus, it wasn't a family deal. See, this would be different if the Lions did something. It would be different if he was with the Lions, they won a Super Bowl, and they paid him right before it, and then they wanted to restructure. Well, you know what? You've been here 14 years. We get it. We're family. We'll do something for you as a family. We're not family. Like, I don't care about the Cabo trip and us being boys, McVay and me and you, and we hit it off, and Kelly and your wife are hanging out. This is a business transaction. You came to Cabo because you said, I was the guy that can win you a Super Bowl. Guess what? Won you that Super Bowl. Thanks for the money. You ain't getting back.
Well, there's one guy that renegotiated his contract that is still getting paid, and they celebrate a day in New York about it. It's Bobby Bonilla Day with the Mets. I think he gets $1.8 million once a year. I think he's still going for the next 10 years. I mean, the Wilpons made a deal with the devil on that one. So that's one player that took advantage of the situation.
There's another one, too. And I thought about you. Oh, man. I think it's with the Mets, too, the Cardinals.
It probably is with
Sandberg.
Oh, Ryan Sandberg?
Ryan
With
Sandberg.
the Cubs?
With the Cubs. He's still getting paid, too.
Good for him.
Ryan Sandberg's still getting
I'm sure
paid,
there's a
too.
few other Mets, too, that are getting paid, too.
You know, ever since really I kind of started getting older and, getting, your perspective as a player.
What, black guy?
As
football player.
As a football player.
Broder says till 2035, by the way.
Great. That's so good.
That's great.
But
12 years.
From a player's perspective, we rarely have access to you guys on that scale, just regular Joe Schmoes like me. But when you do understand how used you are, and maybe people out there won't like that term because of how much money that you do make, and I understand that somebody's out there making 40, 50 grand a year. They don't want to hear that you guys got it hard at 15 million a year or 11 million a year, and I appreciate that. Nobody wants.
If you're making 40 and you're supposed to be making 80, then you can understand.
Nobody wants to hear how much food I'm eating on the 9 if you're laying bricks on construction, right? I mean, like, nobody wants to hear that. And I understand that, so I don't complain about it. It's just a hard perspective to accept when you look at through your own, because we all see the world through our own lens.
Of course.
Right? And that's what makes this place great. But
go ahead. Everybody can tell Elon Musk what he should do with his money until they get it. And you're like, holy shit, what do I do with all
exactly. It's long way to get to, I don't remember what exactly, but long way to get to, if I heard this Matthew Stafford 5 years ago, I would have called him a selfish player and would have said, you're hurting a team, and you don't want to win, and you suck, and I'm not going to be a Matthew Stafford fan anymore. I hear this now, and I'm like, go get your money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
How many cats in the Big Apple today are looking at Saquon Barkley as one of the most selfish people in the world, and if he doesn't play by the time the season starts, they're going to have all these type of things to say, you know what, let me rewind. I go back to Brett Favre, and I go back to Javon Walker. I've told this story a couple times. You know what it was. Javon Walker was holding out. He balled out 2 years. I think he balled out over 5 years, especially the last 2 seasons. He had 1,500 yards, 12, 11 touchdowns. Guy should have got paid. Guy was deserving to get paid. Comes into camp. He's trying to, he didn't come to camp. He's up to do. He's due. It's time to get money. Doesn't get paid. This isn't forever. You don't have this window of,
And this might be the last year, by the way.
Exactly. You may not have this window of peak athleticism, peak primeness, like just in tune with the quarterback, the situation in the squad, the front office, the whole 9 yards. He said, shoot, I got to get paid. It's time to get paid. You told me if I did what I was supposed to do, I would get paid. And then he sits out. Brett Favre shames him for it. He comes back. He blows his knee out first game against the Detroit Lions. Like, that's the reality. That's the reality of what guys aren't selfish. Guys are trying to protect themselves and their vested interest, which is their health. You got to protect yourself. You go out there, you're not like the Saquon. Saquon goes out there under that $10 million running back tag this year. It doesn't matter about the 1,300 yards and 2,000 yards from scrimmage that he had year one. It doesn't matter that he got to the playoffs last year and that he helped them win a playoff game. He got hurt. Oh, shoot, next man up. Who's the next running back out of Penn State? Who's the next running back out of the Big Ten? It's your turn because he got hurt again. You got to protect yourself in this game. It's your team first, but you got to protect yourself.
Look at Lamar last year. Lamar Jackson put his career on the line
And
last year and almost cost him.
No, I didn't think you should take the field last year.
You called it from jump.
From day one. I
Yep.
didn't think he should go on and get on the field last year until he got a long-term deal. Guys, Netflix, Peyton Manning, who is the executive producer of the show, it's Omaha Productions, says that Netflix has renewed quarterback for a season 2.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what quarterback is, it follows 3 quarterbacks for the entire season, and it is an 8-episode series on Netflix. Last year it followed Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota, so they'll presumably follow another 3 quarterbacks this year. My question, and we can talk about what quarterbacks you would want to see, is just as I'm watching this, what is the benefit to Patrick Mahomes to do this? You're already beloved. People aren't gonna love you. Are people gonna love? Like, I don't
Ownership. Ownership.
Do you get some sort of stake in this where you're just making so much money?
He makes $500 already.
No, he does, but you want to have as much money as you can because you want your kids to be good for years and years and years.
Here's my question: is like, what's the benefit to the player in allowing this intrusion in your life?
Well, one, if you're good, people will come after you. Everything now is about influencingship, ambassadorships, sponsorships, dollars off the football field, ways to make money off the football field. We're trying to get Saquon Barkley to sign his $11 million deal and then make some more money off the football field. But with him, I think for Patrick Mahomes, I guarantee you Peyton offered him a piece of the company. I guarantee you Patrick Mahomes has a piece of Omaha Productions. With that being said, I think for Patrick Mahomes, he loves to do anything NFL. Like, he just loves the NFL. He loves being who he is. He's an amazing person, has an amazing family. I think there's ownership for him. But for Marcus Mariota, exposure. For Kirk Cousins, exposure. Like, they follow a model now. Like, I know the next question we'll talk about be who the quarterbacks we want to see. But before we get there, they got a model, if you notice. You got the one quarterback that's a star. That's Patrick Mahomes. So next year, it's going to be Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. Probably Josh Allen. Joe Burrow. Then you got a guy that's going to be Dak Prescott.
Jared Goff.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
Jared
Goff would be great.
It'll be Dak Prescott or Goff.
Yep.
And then you're going to have a guy that's going to be your Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Or one of those guys. So that'll be the system. So for the superstar, he's getting a percentage. He's getting a piece. He's getting some deals on the back end from Omaha and Peyton. Peyton's definitely a guy that you want to be business-wise in bed with. But for the other two, it's exposure. Like Kirk Cousins and his wife, it was great exposure. Marcus Mariota, great exposure. I wouldn't know anything outside of he went to Oregon, he won the Heisman, and he had the tip pass his rookie year and scored a touchdown. But it's exposure.
I'll tell you, it changed my opinion on Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins. I like him now, and as much as I possibly could, because they're in the Lions division, the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. I do root for Kirk Cousins now because that is one tough SOB. Yeah, that is one tough guy.
And really, truly good guy.
Maz, you and I have always lied before. We've always lied.
You know what's so funny? And I hope I'm not giving anything away by saying this, but I think it's episode 1 or episode 2. It's very early in the series. After, it was episode 2, I think, after the Vikings beat the Lions. Okay, it's a 1 o'clock game. I've always envisioned NFL players not racing home, but getting home and like watching the 4 o'clock game or watching the Sunday night football game. Kirk Cousins is out there having a bonfire with his family in silence.
I know, and and a piece of the fire comes and burns a hole in his sweatshirt.
I know. I'm like, wouldn't you be watching, sitting on your couch watching the next game?
He's
or
gassed.
Like that?
He's gassed.
Man,
I know.
Hey, times were different when I was playing. I think it's because of this, and I'm gonna tell you what happened with us. That's why I think it's so much exposure to players. Like players see so much of themselves, so much of them teams, so much of other teams, so much of the sport all the time. Social media, internet, on TV, streaming, blah blah blah. Like when I played, I ran home. I had to TiVo the game. This is TiVo. So man, I TiVo the game. Look at Gentry looked up. What TiVo? TiVo the game. Run home. Family's cooking down there in Cleveland. Man, I'm upstairs in my room watching the game. Because it's one thing to watch that quiet, you know what I'm saying, the copy that we get from the facility.
Yeah, the L22.
Man, you already know what the back copy, the front copy, the end zone copy. It's a difference when you watch the TV copy and get a chance to hear the announcers. What are they saying? How was the crowd? Like, because you can't hear it on game day. But that's just me.
And then, guys, another story I wanted to get to quickly is the Jets. They said don't pick us. They said do not pick us for Hard Knocks. You will not have the access that you are used to having. And apparently they are not going to get the access. They will not. This is according to Adam Schefter. The Jets' Hard Knocks season, quote, won't be the same as past editions. Hard Knocks will not be the same. They're not going to be given the same access. Schefter added, the Jets don't believe it's humane to show the players being released.
No Turk for the Jets.
Hey, look, man, this is a look. I told you, I'm invested in suits, man. This is a ploy. This is a BS motion.
It's all over.
This is a BS motion that they're throwing out there because they do not want you to talk to Aaron Rodgers. They don't want you to see what's going on. They got a lot of holes on this team. It's going to be not a lot of holes, but it's an interesting situation. It's a great outside. It's a great frame. That offensive line is going to give him problems, man, as good as that team is. So they don't want you to see it, and I'm with them. Like, the NFL put the Jets in a bad situation. Like, you can't tell this team, like, literally, you're talking about a week before training camp starts. Actually, maybe less than that. You guys are a team. You guys are a team going on Hard Knocks. So we haven't talked to anybody. We don't know the setup, how we're going to formulate this. This is a big year for the New York Jets. The whole franchise, from Woody, the owner, all the way down to the equipment manager. It's a huge year, and they don't want any type of distractions. I feel them.
What a difference in, I guess, years, right? I mean, and who cares about anything regarding the HBO NFL films, Hard Knocks people, but how you were treated in Detroit last year to how you're going to be treated in New York this year. You had a team fully embrace the Hard Knocks appearance and, do whatever you want to do, to having a team that doesn't want anything to do with you, and which will probably effectively end Hard Knocks as we know it, especially with other, you've got Inside the Den, I believe, that the Detroit Lions puts out their own version of Hard Knocks, for lack of a better way to say it. You've got Quarterback on Netflix now with a season 2, which is getting rave reviews, and a lot of football fans really like that. And you can watch it when you want. You don't have to wait week to week to week to week. It's not a show you have to wait for.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. And in NFL, they said, hey, look, we asked some team. NFL's a part of it too. Like, the NFL's a part of it too. They always got their hand in some cookie jars. They waited to them. They gave it to them last minute. They said, hey, look, this is the team we're going to let you use. They knew they weren't going to give them access. It's about to be over with after this year. Also, people care about individual players. They care about the quarterback position. They care about the wide receiver position. They care about defensive ends, and you want to see more just locked in on that. You don't want to necessarily see all of the team and all of the things. So Hard Knocks is going to be done, but what do you expect? You find out a week before. You can't have full access. We just found out.
No doubt.
Maybe they'll use old stock footage from your year.
Maybe I'll sneak on.
Yeah, I like that.
I think, Braylon, you're going to the Jets training camp,
I
right?
am. They invited me to go August 16th practice, which would be a Wednesday practice. Come out Tuesday night, go to Wednesday practice. Got a couple things lined up. You had a great idea, man. Me and Garrett Wilson do a little one-on-one.
Little one-on-one.
17 on 17. 17
on 17, Michigan, Ohio State. I mean,
hey,
it's a hell of an angle.
Finally, I can have the conversation again. It only took 20 years.
Right. That's
Maybe
great.
Rex will be there.
Sexy Rexy. There you go.
Ooh.
That'd be fun.
That will be fun. Guys, also a lot of fun. I think you and I both blew through this. Muscles and Mayhem, an authorized story of American Gladiators, 5-episode series on Netflix. We're expected to be joined by Nitro. Dan Clark will do that next. But first, a message from Dispo.
Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. Indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. Dispo is the best place to go. Frankly put, 9 locations around the state, and they are the best. So when you go in there, it's a mall type vibe. So it feels like, hey, I can go in this store, that store, and they got the best brands and they got the best people ready to serve you. Dispo for the summer. But remember, 21 and up.
get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna
Oh, boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this is.
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always.
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya? Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right, sir? The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch live, download our podcast. Leave a 5-star review. Available everywhere you listen to podcasts. And, of course, woodwardsports.com. You've got all the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. And, of course, at woodwardsports.com. It's a great place. All the Lions coverage over the next few months, beginning tomorrow with the rookies joining camp. You've got the legend Terry Foster. You've got Matt Broder. You've got Gabrielle D. Phillips. Those three individuals going to be covering the Lions all season long for us.
Ryan and Ermanni, do you like the number 51 or do you like the number 61?
Oh, I always like more.
You got options. 51 days until the NFL season starts with the Detroit Lions and Kansas City Chiefs, but 61 days until you get a chance to use your season tickets, buddy.
Oh, baby, I can't wait for it. Season tickets to the Lions. Cannot wait and we've got some preseason games I'm looking forward to.
You gonna hit those?
Too. Yeah, hell yeah.
I might hit one up.
I think you got to.
I got to get invited, though.
I think you got the invite. You got the invite. Yeah, you got the invite. You got the invite. We'll go to a preseason game, and we'll start there.
We'll start. We won't end there.
We'll start there. We won't end there. I believe we're having trouble with Nitro. Is that what the deal is, guys?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Okay, we're working on it. So in the meantime, Braylon, I want
some nitrous oxide in the step.
Braylon, in the meantime, I wanted to talk to you about this. Richard Sherman has emerged as a candidate to team up with Skip Bayless on FS1's popular show Undisputed. There was when Skip Bayless worked at ESPN, it was on First Take, some significant back and forth personal shots between the two. Skip Bayless taking 2 months off because he cannot seem to find the right partner to go toe-to-toe with. It is a unique show.
Watch your mouth.
It is a unique show. And so we'll see. Would you approve of a Richard Sherman opposite Skip Bayless? And who should be that? Who comes to mind?
Just cancel it.
So I'm going to agree with Maz off the get-go and say cancel it, because I'll start there. I was going to finish there, but Maz is right. Cancel it. You cannot recreate what he did with Stephen A. Smith. And then you're like, oh, well, him and Shannon were really good because they were. You can't do it again. Like, there's no way that he would strike three, because I think he's older now. I think the takes are getting a little, like, I think he's starting to get to that age where he's becoming the mean old man. Like, he's becoming the mean old man. And having a younger black individual who you've already had a back and forth with a couple of times over is not the way to go. Like, Shannon is at least in his 50s. I think there's some respect there. I think there was a level of, you know what? We can always come back from whatever. Richard Sherman, and you saw how feisty those guys are. I don't think it would be a good situation for him and Richard Sherman, because they would go at it, and I think it would get personal. Even though I know he's a professional, Richard Sherman, he's also an intelligent hothead too. So I just can't see them working, because I think it's only a matter of time.
How about Steve Smith against Richard Sherman? I think I could probably see that.
Yeah, hey guys, let's put a pin in this, because I do believe we do have Nitro.
Are we in the building?
With us? Are you kidding me? Muscles and Mayhem, an unauthorized story of American gladiators. Dan Nitro Clark is with us. Oh my gosh, what a thrill this is! Nitro, how you doing, my friend?
Yo. What's going on, my
baby.
boys? How you doing, Ryan? How you doing, Braylon? And hey, I just have to say one thing. Thank you, Detroit, for Matthew Stafford, from the Los Angeles Rams fans. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Nitro, man. It's great to have you on the show. Like, these guys know. I talked about both documentaries. I only watched one of them, know yours, and I'm excited to have you on the show, because American Gladiators is part of my childhood, so it's going to be fun.
Did you just call me old? Part of your childhood?
No, I definitely did not call you old. Definitely did not call you old.
Hey, Nitro.
Because, you know, we had that football special where we had Charles White and a bunch of other football players come on, and we didn't give them the leather, but we gave them the pounding of a joust stick. I can see if I can arrange it, Braylon.
Hey, look, man, I watched Two Scoops Barry beat you guys up, so I'm just saying I'm ready. I'm ready. I told you, man, this is my childhood, man.
Hey, Nitro, you mentioned the Rams. Didn't this start it all, really, when you got cut by the Rams? You're a football player.
Yeah, well, it wasn't quite Braylon's category, or even the same thing. I went to San Jose State University. I could hit. I went to San Jose State University, got picked up by the Rams for a minute, got cut, and I met a guy named Jim Starr there, who became Laser, who became the fastest of friends. We were out of money, looking for something to do, so what did? We went to Hollywood, and I guess the rest is gladiator history.
Hey, Dan, I want to start here, man. Before we talk about the documentary, just how much fun were the 80s? Like, how much fun were the 80s, man?
Well, it was in the 90s.
The late, I meant the late early 90s is what I meant.
Yeah, the 90s. The 90s were a blast. You know, gas was 90 cents a gallon. The McRib had just started at the drive-through. It was a simpler time, you know, where phones just made calls. It wasn't all this other stuff, and it was a great time to be in America, like it is now. And it was, like I said, a simpler time, a time when you could go down Hollywood Boulevard and you could see, you know, Stallone and Schwarzenegger. I remember I was at this famous club called Roxbury. It doesn't exist anymore. It only exists in the youth's mind as a movie, Night at the Roxbury. But I was actually one of those old people who was there. And I remember one night I was in there, and I was with a guy named Olden Polanese, who played for the Pistons for a minute.
He did play for the Pistons.
And he was with, good dude. And him and I were hanging out, and because I think he was at the Clippers at that time. And we walk into the Roxbury, we're standing at the bar, and Olden is, I think, 7 foot. And there's a guy next to him that is taller and bigger than Odin. And I said, yo, what's up, man? And he goes, hey, meet this guy. His name is Shaquille. He's this rookie coming out of LSU. And it was Shaquille O'Neal, the only guy I've ever seen make Olden Polynice look small.
That is so funny.
That's
Unbelievable.
Shaq.
Talking to Dan Nitro Clark, the documentary on Netflix, 5-episode series, Muscles and Mayhem, the unauthorized story of American Gladiators. And Nitro, are you, I don't want to say shocked, that's not the right word, but the demand for this series? I mean, I blew through this. Braylon blew through this. It was one of the most viewed shows on Netflix. Are you surprised at the really the appetite for this story to be told, and how many people wanted to revisit this and find out what really happened, what went down? Because this was a series. This American Gladiators is, I think, so much of the fabric of our culture in the 90s.
Well, I think surprise isn't the right word. I'm grateful that so many people tuned in, but I wasn't surprised. Because I walk out in the world every day and I still have people come up to me, hey, aren't you that dude, Nitro from the American Gladiators?
Yeah.
So 25 years later, people still remember. I don't know if it's because I was the badass on the show, the guy you love to hate. I don't know if it's because I was the only, half Asian character, but it happens every single day. So I wasn't surprised. I think American Gladiators really hit the root of something. And that is that there's all these athletes out there, and I'm sure many of them are listening to your show right now, who still feel like they have that something inside where they can compete. Maybe they didn't get a shot at the NFL, Major League Baseball, hockey, and females as well. But Gladiators gave those guys who were the star of their football team who couldn't go pro a chance to come on TV and compete against these larger-than-life figures, the American Gladiators, and prove their worth. That competition inside of us, which I think makes us a great country, a great place, is the heartbeat of what American Gladiators was. So I'm not surprised at all. I'm very, very grateful. I have so many people, like new audience members too, I'm going to sound very young when I say this, that are slipping into my DMs on Insta.
Okay. Look at Dan out here with his DM slippers. I love it. I love it. Dan, talk about the family aspect as you guys, the Gladiators, because, coming into this, obviously you brought Laser in a year later. I do believe is your boy. But did you guys know in the beginning that you guys, when you were shooting the pilot, that you guys would become such good friends? Because watching it, it seemed like you guys were friends. It seemed like you guys had each other's back. But now watching the documentary, and you guys were brothers and sisters and other things. You guys were really down. That's what it seemed like.
Well, Braylon, when you're on a team, especially for 7 or 8 years, you're all a part of something special. There's a brotherhood. There's a sisterhood. And don't get me wrong, and we talk about this in Muscles and Mayhem, the docuseries on Netflix, there was a lot of internal strife, just like there is in any family. But I think looking back in retrospect, we were all part of something. We wore the great colors of our country across our back. We, were warriors. We were the American Gladiators. And that bond of the show was more than about a show. For us, all of these misfits from different walks of life, from different races, for us to find a place like American Gladiators was also finding a place to belong, and was also finding a family, and those memories still hold true 30 years later.
Dan, here's a hard question but a fun one. How many injuries can you remember from American Gladiators? Because if you and I sit down and talk and compare injuries, I think me and you can have a fun conversation.
I think Laser actually had the most injuries, Braylon. He had like 9 surgeries. And some of it was from football, some of it was from Gladiators. But look, there is no complaining on my part. Looking back, you say, man, I wish I'd have taken care of us a little better. I wish you wouldn't have been these guinea pigs in this mad scientist exploration. But at the time, again, 23 years old, I had like $800 left in my bank account. I was trying to feed my 2-year-old son. I would have gotten a ring with Mike Tyson for $500.
Yeah.
So, I knew what I signed up for. But, with I just had a knee replacement. I had back surgery. I paid the price, but I'll tell you this, guys. I do not regret it for 1 minute.
All right, here's some fun. When I was younger and I used to watch American Gladiators, there was two events I was looking forward to. One of them was your best event, your favorite event. Talk about Powerball.
I don't think I could get my hands on you, man. Because you know what they say, speed kills, man. I got to get my hands on you to put the hurt on you, to put the boom on you. With someone with your quicks, I don't know, man. I know when we did that against Charlie White and the other cat from USC who won the Heisman a few years before. I can't think of his name right now. God, I feel so bad.
Marcus Allen?
But when we... No, even before Marcus, because Marcus didn't do the show. I know Marcus pretty
Larry
well.
Zonka?
No, from USC. I think he was a president too. He was a running back. He was a president too.
Yeah.
Cunningham?
I can't think. No, that's Patriots. Come on now.
Well, he was USC.
Anyway, Anthony. Anyway, when we had to go when we had to go tackle those guys, even though they were old compared to us, then we were like 25 and they were like 40. You know, trying to bring those guys down, man, that was rough. So, you know, I think if I could catch you and put some leather on you, I'd be okay. But I think the hard part would be catching you. As you mentioned, much to my chagrin, about Two Scoops Barry. You know, he was, I would imagine, you know, he was a guy that could have probably played in the NFL because he had strength and he had quickness. But as you know, to get in the league, slippery when wet especially. As you know, to get in the league, man, as you get in the league, it takes a lot more than physical ability.
Yeah.
You got to have the mental game right. And, you know, some of the guys I played with at San Jose State, they had the talent. They just didn't have the mental game. And, you know, that's what happens.
Gotcha.
Hey, Dan, just talk about what you're doing now. How do you feel your time now? I know you're a public speaker and you do podcasts and you wrote a book and things like that. But how are you feeling the time?
First of all, Muscles of Mayhem on Netflix. Not only did I appear in it, but I actually came up with the idea, came up with the storyline, the through line of it, sold it to Netflix and produced it. So that's been the last 2.5 years of my life, is getting the cast together, bringing the directors in, and getting that on the air. So now that that's done, I'm off pursuing other stuff in the TV and film market. I don't know if there's a guy named David Diaz-Infante. He went to San Jose State with me. He was an offensive lineman. He has a distinction of being the oldest rookie to get his first start in the NFL at 32 years old for the Denver Broncos. David went on to win 2 Super Bowls with him. So right now, me and my partner are doing the movie treatment on the David Diaz-Infante story, along with public speaking, and I do some coaching one-on-one for about 5 individuals, very, very high net worth individuals, helping them transform their lives and keep sharp and keep on top.
So awesome. Love that.
Dan, you just brought up, I just want to piggyback that question. How hard was it to get the cast together? Like, I know when I try to reach out to my former teammates, it takes a lot to get us in the same room, to get us in the same place because of schedules and because of reaching out to people. How hard was that process?
Well, the great thing about the documentary space is we never had to be all in the same room at one time. And it's almost better because people feel the freedom to speak and talk crap about other people if they're not there. So, for I think so many of the gladiators, Zap, Laser, Diamond, Ice, they all wanted to tell their story. ESPN did one that was more about the creator of the show, Johnny Ferraro and Dan Carr, and who stole the idea. And we didn't feel like our voice was represented. I wanted to make something that would take you back to the 90s. That would bring you right back to that moment that you remember, either playing gladiators in the backyard, thinking you could be on the show, or perhaps watching it with your dad. I wanted to take you back there with the music, with the movie, with the sound, with everything, and also get you to relive that period and get to hear the gladiator stories. The number one comment I've gotten on social, and it's odd because everybody loves the series, and I thought it would be, oh my God, I can't believe your best friend bit you in the face.
Yeah, I was waiting to ask about
that. Is not the number one comment. It did happen. All of a sudden you're fighting, headlock, and biting you in the face. And we know the general rule, guys, there is no biting and fighting, right?
Yeah.
There's no biting and fighting.
There's no biting and fighting. Not at all. Not especially from two guys that played in the NFL together. He knew better. Last question. What that show did for me? I'm sorry.
Let me say this. So the number one comment I got from both men and women across the board, it's actually more women. And it was really quite stunning. There's an emotionally charged moment where I get vulnerable and I talk about my older brother dying in my arms when I was 10 years old and he was 12. He got into an electrical accident. And when I was a young kid, I was told that big boys don't cry. And I held that grief in until I got to be about 25 years old. And then when I was famous, I had everything I wanted in my life. I was on billboards, money, fancy cars. I found myself too many mornings being like drunk and high and kind of out of my mind. I was laying on the floor and I was weeping. And I didn't process that grief. And I since learned through that journey of raising my hand and getting therapy and saying I need help, I learned the very important distinction that big boys don't cry, but men do. And that there seems to really resonate with a lot of men and a lot of women. And they're thanking me, this old guy who used to run around in spandex with buffed out muscles, for being open and vulnerable, you know, so it can show other young men that you can be hard as a rock, you can be tough, but you can also be soft, open, and vulnerable to, you know, letting the world express through you.
That's a great message, Dan. Thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Such a thrill for us to talk to you. I mean, such a part of our upbringing here. So thanks so much. Again, the top series on Netflix has been for several weeks. Muscles and Mayhem, an authorized story of American gladiators. We invite everybody to check it out. Dan Nitro Clark on Twitter, at Dan Nitro Clark, and his website, if you want to check it out, dannitroclark.net. Nitro, thanks so much, my friend. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
Continued
Thanks, Nitro.
success.
Appreciate it, brother.
You know, my dudes, thank you so much. And a big thanks to the best publicist in Detroit, Jason Brown, for hooking this up. Peace out, guys.
Hey, and go Lions, Jason.
Go Lions, baby. Love Jason Brown. Love Jason Brown. Thanks so much, Nitro. Guys, we got to get a break and come right back. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Fairway Packing, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop at Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Source, aged, packed, prime to perfection.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights live daily A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey gang, your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company, your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, go to OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground, and it is a playground. We were out there last week, gang. It is a fantastic place over there in Ray, Michigan on 27 Mile Road. Braylon, that was a pretty cool interview. And I can't believe this show is already over.
Yeah, man. A lot of hot air coming on me today. Gentlemen, I apologize. But that was great. I appreciate that, man. Like, you got a chance to interview Undertaker. You got a chance to interview Stone Cold. At least I got a chance to interview Dan Nitro Clark.
It is cool to talk to those guys, and maybe some of you guys. I think you guys liked the interview, right? I mean,
I think most did. I think some probably are too young in the chat to know it. But you got to appreciate it. The guy is really great. He's well-spoken, and he was kind of cool, man.
You guys got to watch the interview now. I didn't want to go into the depths and the details and things on there. That's more show for you guys to check out. But they went through a lot with American Gladiators, man, from the safety precautions, the health precautions. It was the early 90s, as you heard Nitro say, so you know what was going on at that time. There's a lot going on with American Gladiators and how they were treated. I wanted to kind of get into that, but
he was a really impressive guy too.
Yeah,
I mean, the ups and downs of his life.
Yeah.
I think if you follow that story, that trek, because he had a heart attack. He admittedly, back in the day, obviously
got after
it a little bit. So his health wasn't great. And
they roided up. They roided
that's
up.
A guy, yeah, absolutely. That's a guy that really got his
he made
life
it on the show too,
on the right track and really impacting people positively now.
That guy that told him now, he was only 10 years old. That was actually on an airplane.
Yeah.
That was when he was headed back home on an airplane, and the guy told him at 10 years old that big boys don't cry. So, yeah, I paid attention.
Pretty great stuff. Braylon, get us out of here today. Everybody, thanks for watching, man.
Glad to be back. Thanks for watching. This is Woodward Sports getting closer and closer. Tomorrow, it'll be 50 days until the Lions take on the Kansas City Chiefs. 50 days, only 5-0. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the Lions are going to do. Also, maybe get a little Michigan in here, man. It's about that time. Michigan State. See what these guys got going on up there? All right. I'm down, man. Gentry, we appreciate having you. I'm back. My man Maz, JB, as always, Brian Ermanni. We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Yes.
See you.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.